Okay, this is session two of Urban Shadows: The Violet Crown. I want to begin by we have a brand new player for this session. Jennifer's going to be playing an oracle who we're going to meet momentarily. I want to get that character kind of tied into the rest of the group with debts and things like that. Before we begin, though, we're going to be joined by Philip in a little bit, I believe, who's playing Landon. So we have to catch him up on a couple things when he gets here. But everybody else, Michael, we just tell us real briefly about Jerome Benson. This is mostly for Jennifer's benefit.
Yeah, sure. So Jerome's a reporter who moved to Texas from New York with his then wife and kid, now divorced, partly because he's been getting so entangled in the supernatural and has this whole second life going on there, which is kind of increasingly become like his sort of main thing, I guess. What is like super important to know about Jerome right now? That's like the basics right there. He's got a girlfriend he's seeing this girl who's like a fae who he's like really like keen on like everything else, but he views like the fae as like pretty innocent. And he's like kind of unquestioning of that so far. And he's also entangled with the museum curator who's this demon who's also a demon, and they've kind of sent him on this mission to claim some stuff from the vault there. But I think the curators kind of got one up on me so far. I managed to make it out last time with my intern intact, but it was a close call.
Yeah, indeed. Awesome. Stephen, please tell us about Gabby. There's Philip.
Yeah, so Gabby Reyes is a young-looking vampire who is actually around, I think I said 50 years old or so. She came to the city to help her mother as a maid and earn a little bit of money whenever she was made into a vampire. She and the rest of the coven live under the Congress Street Bridge, and there's a connection there to the capital and elder vampires. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And elder vampires doing something in the legislature, doing something in the government. I think that's about all I can think of.
Okay. I'm going to do like a quick recap too of things for all of us. Philip, are you there? I don't know if Philip's actually there or not. Philip, are you with us? Okay.
Hey, I'm just getting settled in real quick. I'm listening though.
Okay, no worries. I'll do the recap while we're waiting on that. Okay, so before we meet Jennifer's character, let's talk about what happened last time. We got a surprising amount done, considering we only had like an hour and a half of actual like play time. So yeah, we have a few big things that are going on in the city right now. There is an unidentified ghost in East Austin who is kidnapping other ghosts and selling them to wizards and demons who are harvesting their spectral energy to fuel their magic. There is a group of fae in Hippie Hollow who have uncovered some kind of Cthulhuid horror at the bottom of Lake Austin. They're intent on learning about it and studying it, and maybe even joining up with it in some way. So that's the thing that's going on. Mr. Appleby is the curator of the Texas History Museum's secret exhibit in the basement, and he's a wicked fucker. We don't know what he's up to, but he's really evil. Charlie, who is Philip's character's dark patron, and Philip's character's Landon. Charlie is a suave, smooth-talking businessman type. He's a dark demon lord as well. He is new to Austin, hell-bent on putting up a bunch of real estate developments. And he doesn't care who he has to steamroll over to do that. Landon is his kind of like hireling and minion, basically. And so that's that. And then the Texas legislature, as Stephen noted, is controlled by elder vampire lords who appear to be the true power in the city as well. These vampire lords are presently pushing to have the Night Noms food trucks operate exclusively in South Austin. Night Noms is actually a front for vampires who hunt humans, and it's a way of like luring humans to dark nighttime places to more easily eat them. And they want to move into South Austin because it's a lot more safe to eat poor people than it is to eat the rich white kids in Central Austin. So that's kind of a thing going on in the big picture. In terms of our session, you can kind of read through that as you have time, but the basic the basic thrust of it is Jerome is caught up with some bad shit with Mr. Appleby and Christine. Christine's his fey girlfriend, trying to get him to snoop around Mr. Appleby's exhibit, and Jerome got caught, and it was a big deal. He managed to get away with his intern, but it was pretty nasty. Landon was fooling around with a demonic baddie named Omar in a leather bar, and turns out Omar was actually there to kill Landon on behalf of Mr. Appleby, because Mr. Appleby is in opposition to Charlie, Landon's Dark Lord. And they had a fight. While they were having that fight and tearing each other apart, Charlie, the Dark Lord, had convinced Gabby Reyes, Stephen's character, to go watch, and then they had sex in the middle of it. So that was the thing going on. It was a nice, bloody, visceral scene. But Charlie's big thing is he wants Gabby to help him with the elder vampires in the legislature. He wants her help in getting some building permits through, use their influence to make that work, to make that happen. And yeah, that's kind of the main thrust of what's going on. Also, another little small thing, Landon is supposed to be helping this vamp named Jeffrey with this ghost trafficking problem, because the elder vamps are not happy about that, and Jeffrey's tasked with dealing with it, but he's asked Landon to help with it. Landon hasn't fulfilled his obligations yet. So and I'll just introduce Landon while Philip's getting settled in. He is basically he's an enforcer for this dark power Charlie. He basically uses sex to get what he needs for Charlie. And Charlie often just puts him in sexual situations for his just plain old personal amusement. That's kind of what the situation with Omar was. He knew Omar was there to kill him, but he just wanted to see what would happen. And so that was that.
All right.
Charlie's not a good person either. Just worth pointing out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the deal. Tell us about Frankie Youngman, please.
So Frankie is she's kind of she's a drug dealer. She's based out of West Campus. She spends a lot of time on and off Guadalupe, just kind of dealing drugs. She spends a lot of time at the Spider House, and she lives at the German House Co-op on Nueces, and where also lives kind of her like a kind of a cocaine kingpin necromancer by the name of Grigor. But she kind of but she's an oracle, so she's like kind of a shaman as well, and she does, card readings at the Spider House Cafe, and spends a lot of her time just doing drugs and like hanging out in the sunlight. She's not a night person. She's a very much like a daytime oracle person. But she digs the heat, and she kind of does sort of paranormal investigation on the side, sort of thing. Yeah.
I love it. I know this character. I feel like I know Frankie Youngman. I feel like I know her intimately. I have hung out with her at the Spider House Cafe. I know where she traffics on Guadalupe. That's good. I love it. So interesting. So what's your, I guess we're going to find out when we do your debts, but I guess I guess I'm curious about this cat Grigor, this necromancer. What's your
Yeah,
connection with him again? You may have said it, but I'm
I
not
think he's sort of the I'm imagining him as he's like this drug kingpin based in West Campus,
Mhm.
and so like I get I'm his I'm his foot traffic. He's the supplier, and I'm one of his many like dealers, and
Nice, nice.
so yeah, he holds up in yeah, and that his lair is this sort of semi-condemned old cooperative house where
Nice, nice.
turned cocaine den.
Is it
Um,
possible that he's wrapped up in this ghost trafficking scheme we've established?
that's what
Um,
I was kind of thinking.
okay,
Yeah, I think he's probably like he's also like getting ghosts shipped in from the east. So yeah,
nice.
I think that's a reasonable idea and suggestion. Yeah.
I love it. I don't have other questions yet. Does anybody else have any questions for Jennifer about Frankie? All right, let's do debts. You should have some debt questions. We'll read those off and kind of decide where they're going to go. So,
Right. Let's see. Um, so I've got three, and they're all interesting. Um, so someone helps you understand your dreams and visions. You owe them two debts. Um, and I'm not really sure who I should. Maybe,
Me.
maybe.
it can be NPCs too. Just
It's-
FYI.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say Landon. Actually,
I'm a
so
demon.
Landon, I feel like you're a party boy, and you probably like you're one of my customers, but we also like talk dreams and shit.
Well, I have
So
connections in, like other realms, so
yeah, yeah,
I get feelers for you, I guess, from the demon
yeah.
crowd.
That's awesome. So what's the debt exchange there then?
I owe them two debts.
Okay. So Landon, you'll write those down then on your sheet.
All right, I'm still getting up all the links and everything.
Okay. I'll make a note. I'll make a quick note for you. You can adjust it later.
Thanks.
And then the next one is, let's see. I've had a dire prophecy about someone, but I don't know how to help them yet.
That's
And then
gotta be Jerome, right?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I was actually thinking Gabriella because I like this other one for Jerome.
Okay.
You are helping someone realize their true potential through your visions. They owe you a debt.
I like that one too. I could go for either of those.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go with the realizing true potential for Jerome.
Okay.
I'm helping Jerome realize his true potential.
Well, so what's that all about? I mean, what? How'd that come about? It's worth pointing out Jerome works on campus too. Just FYI, if that helps.
Right.
Or around there. I mean, I think that one thing that it could play into is like helping me out. Like one thing I didn't mention in the character intro is that I was super upset because I was like nominated. He's like in his mid-30s and he got nominated for a Pulitzer but did not win, and has had like a chip on his shoulder and like trying to get like a breakthrough with all this supernatural stuff without being seen as a total crank is sort of like kind of his agenda right now. And like someone who can like predict things and kind of knows what's going on could be really helpful with that.
Right. I figure like in that instance, I'm sort of like you're in like an inroad into some, like I was an initial inroad into the supernatural.
Right.
Like
right.
we ran into each other at like a thing that we were both like independently investigating.
Right. Right.
And because like I'm kind of like this kind of paranormal investigator, and I'm just like I just kind of do that because like I'm compelled to as this oracle.
Right.
And so I feel like we just ran into each other at one of these things, and Yeah, so that's what I think that's from, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, this guy, he's gonna be a champion of his
Right.
people.
And I also, this is kind of like another riff on that, but I kind of like the idea of you being sort of like the supernatural stuff has actually been kind of a problem in my life. And I feel like you're sort of like an enabler on that.
Right.
Like maybe I'm not there for the drugs, but like you've got me hooked on like all this paranormal stuff.
Yes,
It's like drawing me
yes.
like, you know, into all these like dangerous like situations, and like I'm kind of getting like
So I'm just
lost and
kinda-
caught up in it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of dragging you into it almost. Like, we were, you were investigating something mundane, and I was investigating
Right.
something, and it led to the same place. And
Right,
then,
right.
and I've just kind of been dragging you along since then because I'm like, this person is important to the future of Austin. Yeah. Okay. I like that.
I dig it. Nice.
And then, so I guess that's
Well, so on
your-
that
your
one,
name.
he owes you then.
He owes me that.
Okay.
So that's what I would put down here, right?
Yeah. You type
Jerome
owes
owes
me one debt because whatever.
um and so then my last one is I've had a dire prophecy about someone, but you don't know how to help them yet. And so I think that's going to be with Gabby.
Okay. What's that
Um,
about? What's the prophecy about?
so the prophecy is, oh man, so if Landon's been helping me with my dreams, I think my prophecy is something like about how the elder vampires are going to turn on her.
Okay, that makes sense.
That something that her own people will turn on her, and I need to help her not have that happen.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there have been some hints of that already because one of the things we established is that Gabby has family in South Austin who are presumably
Okay.
going to be potential vampire victims soon.
Oh,
when Night Elms
okay.
moves down
Yeah.
there. So
Okay, that's good. That's great.
yeah, I think Gabby's not otherwise like in bad straits with them, but there's like a tension. There's a boiling point happening there. I think we haven't
Right,
explored
and
it
so,
too much in
like-
play yet, but. Yeah.
Right, but the boiling point could be part like the like tendrils of this prophecy coming.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Gabby, how do you
Okay.
feel about that? You good? Cool. All right. And in that case, who owes the debt there?
I owe them a debt.
Okay. All right. So Gabby, you'll note that one.
No one really owes me a debt.
Anybody from last week who had unspent debts that they were saving for Jennifer's character, if they
Oh, yeah.
sound salient for you, go ahead and throw them out there.
Yeah, I did. So one of my debts was someone bears a responsibility for you becoming a vampire. They owe you a debt. I think what this is that whenever I was turned, there were drugs involved. And
Oh.
I blame Frankie because she's, a known drug dealer.
Okay.
Okay. So all drug dealers then. All right. Yeah. Good. All right.
So
Is it
does
possible?
that mean?
Is it possible that Grigor was involved directly?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because he's a
It's-
necromancer, so there's a good chance he was around, right?
Yeah, he was probably around. Yeah. So like my boss is maybe actually like responsible for you being turned into a vampire.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that personally better, just because it's more direct and solid as opposed to like a sort of ideological.
Just general, I
hatred
hate drugs,
general, I hate drugs. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, either would be okay, and maybe it's both. But if you're cool with Grigor, Stephen, I think that would be great. Okay, cool. Any other from last week?
So does that mean I owe you a debt then, Steven?
You owe me a debt. Frankie owes me
Okay.
a debt. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I owe.
Well, Gabby notes it, so yeah. Or yeah, you don't have to note that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You only note the ones that you own, like whoever owes you.
Right.
That's
Who
what you-
owes me? Okay. All right. Anything else? Anybody else?
I had one on reserve, but I don't think it makes sense on like where our characters are. It's you're leveraging dirt you have as someone to get their help with something. I don't know if that makes sense for our two characters based on what we've established.
Leveraging to get help.
Leveraging dirt I have on someone to get their help with something. Yeah.
No,
You can say
probably
that for
not.
Matt next week too. So.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Because we have like a guest character next week. So, Philip, did you have any leftover, or did you spend all yours last time?
I don't have any. No, one of mine was for my patron, so I only had like 2.
Yeah, that's right. You're
Cool.
looking at it. The tainted only gets 2, basically. Cool. Okay. Well, are there any other questions before we begin?
No, I think we're good. Good
Cool.
to go.
Well, I think what I'm going to have you do is do the. You have a start of session move, so we'll do that in a minute.
Okay.
Actually, let's do that now. I think that actually. I'm trying to think what would be the best. Trying to think what would be the best time to sort that, either before or after the session start move. I'm thinking the way it's written. I'm gonna go with before. Let's do foretellings now. So it says on your sheet at the beginning of the session, roll with spirit. On a 10 plus hold 2, on a 7-9 hold 1. And then you can spend the hold to declare that something terrible is about to happen, and you and your allies will get +1 ongoing to avoid that disaster.
Okay.
On a miss, you foresee the death of someone important to you and take -1 to all rolls to prevent it.
Oh, jeez. This is intense. This is intense.
Yeah, it gets go. Yeah, this game starts running like immediately. Like there's no build up. It's.
Oh boy, because that's a. That's a 7. Okay, good.
Okay.
All
So
right.
you got 1. So you have 1 hold. You can just
Okay.
spend that whenever you wish to declare something terrible is about to happen, and then you can try to avoid it. So.
All right.
Cool. Now let's do the beginning of session move. I'm going to do it just for you because everybody else has enough irons in the fire, I think, to get going. So I don't think we need to do it. But for you, at the beginning of every session, you need to choose the player of the character. That's really interesting. The player of the character you trust the least to spotlight a faction for your character. So you can interpret that however you wish, but choose one of the guys to highlight one for you.
Who do I trust the least? Well, I mean, the player of the character I trust the least. I feel like I trust.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's the way that's phrased is funny. It's you're asking the player of the character you trust the least. Yeah, that's weird. Okay,
Right.
You're not. It's not the player you trust the least. It's the character. You trust
Yeah,
the least.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate the way. That's a terrible sentence.
Okay.
Just throw it out there.
So I'm gonna go with Gabby because I feel like I've got this terrible prophecy with regards to her, but like me and Jerome and Landon all like kind of chill. So that's probably I'm also kind of not with the knight, right? So like that's not really my faction of choice. So I think yeah, Gabby. We'll go with Gabby.
So I'm going to pick mortality.
Okay.
Mortality.
Yeah, so you'll mark a box of mortality on your sheet. So you're 1/4 of the way to advancing. And then roll plus your stat on that. You should have a stat for mortality. So roll +1.
Okay. All right, that's 10.
All right. Actually, you're supposed to tell me the rumor first, but then roll. It's okay though. Tell me.
Oh wait,
yeah.
I have to tell you a rumor. Oh
yeah,
shoot,
you
I
tell
didn't
me
read the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't either. It was my mistake. It's okay. What's going on? Like it can be something implied from the fiction we've already established, or something totally brand new. To do with
a rumor
mortality.
involving mortality.
Right.
Okay, so I think gosh, something about students maybe. Maybe just to tie it in to the original to for last session, I'm going to say that some students from the university have disappeared in the history museum.
Oh, nice. Good. I
Yeah.
love that. That's great.
Yeah.
So basically, like, there's a whole big thing on campus, basically, right? Like
Right.
these
Yeah.
students
So
that
like,
went missing.
yeah, the last time, like students go missing, like that kind of sometimes happens, like but what I've heard from just being a part of being a part of like mortality and being a part of power is just like I've been like, okay, all right, this is tied in, and I'm like, Jerome, this is totally tied in with what you're dealing with Appleby, and we gotta get on that shit.
Okay, so then on the 10 plus, you have some choices. You can you're prepared. You've got a debt on someone in that faction, so you could take it on Jerome, I suppose, or a useful piece of information or equipment for this conflict. Your choice.
Okay.
And you can maybe even work that out with Jerome or with Michael right now, if that would be interesting for you guys.
Right. Yeah. What should we do? What should we do? Like,
I mean, so I got last time, although, in some ways Appleby got the upper hand on me. I did manage to steal a packet of useful information already. So I will be able to get in, hopefully I'll be able to get in and open like the secret vault he's got down there in the basement. That said, I would always take more stuff that's useful. I can see either way on that being interesting.
So is Appleby, is he a demon?
Yeah,
he is a demon. Yeah.
Okay.
And we don't really know what his motivations are yet either.
We don't know his motivations, and he's also like, at least compared to like myself, like immortal, like pretty powerful. Like that was one of the things that frustrated me when I ran into him, was that there wasn't a way for me to really get at him.
Okay. Gosh, a debt on someone in that, or a useful piece of information or equipment. I suppose yes. I mean, because I don't know what like debt would be, like what sort of debt would be particularly helpful in this situation, unless he has some sort of mortal underling that like we can leverage.
He could.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it's possible. The other kind of mortals that are sort of at least been mentioned is that Gabby has her family is mortals that she keeps up with as well. There's my family, Gabby's family, all mortals. There's my intern, Dougie. There's any other characters we establish. I think those are most of the mortals in play currently.
Yeah, you could name a mortal servant of Mr. Appleby, or and that would be a great way of getting in to him if you
right. Yeah, I think he has a mortal servant, and their name is Melissa.
Okay.
And she's a customer of mine, and I kind of like, I know, like I kind of like a not like I tell her future, like I interpret her dreams, sort of thing, like that kind of customer. I have lots of
cool.
I have my fingers in a lot of different kind of businesses, so I'm an entrepreneur. But yeah, I think I'm like her psychic go-to.
I like it. That's good. Okay, so you can note that you have one on Melissa, and then Stephen put a good note of it might be interesting for Melissa to be related to Gabby, for example, or someone else in the story.
Or
yeah,
Lyndon as well, either one. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, Melissa Reyes.
Nice.
Put it.
Done and done.
What's the relation there? Is she like one of your, I guess, like at this point, like nieces or grandnieces or whatever?
Yeah. I think that this is a
pretty
grand niece that came in, and she's probably going to school at UT now.
Right. Yeah. I feel like she's a student.
Oh, can we say she's a grad student working under Mr. Appleby? That'd be great.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, like because I'm sure Mr. Appleby also has like a connection to the university as well, right? So that makes a lot of sense. Cool. Let's begin then. We might come back to some of that, but I'm gonna start with Landon. Landon, you have I think the last thing we saw you doing was basically you changed into a demon, tore apart Omar while your dark patron was having sex with Gabby in the back of a leather bar.
Like a Tuesday night.
That's incredibly violent.
Yeah. What did you do afterwards? Like, I want to kind of just move beyond that scene a little bit. Where would you head now?
I think the opening of this episode, I guess, is you see Landon in like there's like a shower in this bar, and he's just like maybe like yeah, I think maybe there's like a shower in this bar, and he's like just like washing off, and I think that when these things happen, there's an arrangement that that maybe I have with Gabby to get the vampire cleanup crews to come in and clean up my messes as well.
Nice. Well, so Gabby was there to find you, right? I mean,
yeah.
We'll say Charlie's off scene. Charlie left to go do whatever rich asshole things Charlie does.
Right.
Gabby, you were there to go get Landon. Like, that was your kind of like little mini mission here. So what do you do after this is all settled down?
So I think that what happens is that after everything's kind of settled down, Charlie leaves. And I think Landon kind of nudges and said, we need the cleanup crew. I think that's a phone call. And while they're on their way, I think I take Landon off to the back. I think we'd established that I hadn't seen him actually demon out before.
Right. Yeah. I think we did establish that.
And I'm like, what's going on with you exactly?
Is this while he's showering? Because that would be intimacy, right? I feel like.
I want to say yes, it's while he's showering, but I don't think it's intimate at all. At least not from Gabby's perspective.
Okay, good. Right,
so you've got the horns and all that kind of stuff. What's up with that?
Yeah, I think like now you don't see the horns. You see like the blood where the horns came out, but like as soon as I get under the water, it washes away, and there's like no like openings or anything in my head, and yeah, I just look at you and say, you've never seen someone go into a form like that before?
I've seen a lot of things, honey. I haven't seen you go into a form like that before. So what's up with you?
Is Charlie still here?
No, Charlie left to go do whatever Charlie does.
And so I look at her and I say, well, Charlie and I kind of have this arrangement, he scratches my back and I scratch his.
I know all about arrangements like that. Do you know a guy named Jeffrey? He was looking for you.
Oh God. When did you talk to him?
Oh, it couldn't have been more than an hour or two ago.
He wants me to go. Flies. He wants me to go and hunt down this spirit trafficking thing going on, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. So he's going to have to, just deal with me still being on this job.
Why did you agree to go hunt down the spirit stuff for him? What'd you get in return?
Well, I mean, nothing, but
okay.
I don't know. Charlie wants to work with the vampires, and Charlie also probably cares about spirit trafficking, so I figured it was, in everybody's interest.
And there was probably a little bit of fun in for you as well, right? So.
And I turn off the water.
I think
walk over and get my towel, and I'm like,
I'm gonna suggest that this line of questioning from Gabby probably counts as figure someone out, right?
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So roll plus mind, and then we'll just kind of hold it for a minute and go and come back to it.
Ooh, that's a 12.
Nice. You can hold 2. You can ask 1 now if you wish, but or you can wait for a minute. It's up to you.
Why don't we wait? I want to look through the questions.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Jerome, you and Dougie rush out of the Texas History Museum, having stolen things, having prevented a kidnapping and a possible murder. It's the middle of the day. Like you rush out there. Where do you take Dougie? Like, where do you guys go straight?
So I think that after this, I don't know why I thought of this, but I feel like afterwards, he's still kind of traumatized, and I buy him McDonald's.
No,
so we're
perfect.
sitting at McDonald's, while he's still kind of shaken by this. I'm like, man, history's some wild stuff, ain't it?
Dougie is like a what do we suppose Dougie looks like or sounds like, or what kind of character is Dougie? He sounds like he's kind of hapless. I mean, he just got straight up snatched while he was supposed to be walking around surreptitiously in the museum, right?
Right. Well, he was up against a demon, so it's a fair shot.
Enough.
Maybe he's I don't know. I'm kind of picturing right now a slightly stoned, too cool for the universe kid who walks around in sunglasses all day.
Nice. Okay, I'm into that. So I think he's a little rattled though, right? Normally he is too cool for the universe, but I think now he's really, really freaking the fuck out. Okay. He's at McDonald's. He's at McDonald's. You bought him 2 Happy Meals because that's what he gets when he goes to McDonald's. And he's, and he's just eating. He's just like, Jerome, what the fuck was that all about, man? What the fuck was that?
I don't know, man. You tell me. I sent you in there just to take a quick look in the basement, and Mr. Appleby, the apparently psychotic, I had no idea, museum curator, he's a real loose cannon. I don't know if he should be,
loose cannon? Are we going to call the cops or what?
I mean, I'm going to file a report to the police. I promise you. I'm
calling 911 right now. He's grabbing his phone, to call 911 right now at this moment.
I'm very tempted to just say, do it by all means. Call the cops. I don't know. I don't want to.
It would probably be a lot. It would probably really complicate your life.
It probably would really complicate my life. I grab the phone and put it on the table. I'm like, you don't need to call the cops. This guy is deeply enmeshed. He's got the police on his side. I want to investigate him to see what the hell he's actually got down there. He's I wouldn't push him until look. I would just enjoy the Happy Meal. We're gonna head back to drop you off back at the Student Journalism Center, and we'll try to forget all about this while I continue to investigate him. I'm doing an investigative story on Mr. Appleby, and I don't want to tip him off too much until I've got this all together. We could blow the whole investigation if we send, a bunch of, 2-bit cops over there right now. I'm trying to take him down all the way, kid.
Okay, so first things first. I love this. First things first, you're marking corruption, right?
Oh yeah,
because you're clearly disregarding a mortal obligation to go after the supernatural, right? So you go ahead and mark that. Second thing is, I think you're gonna have to persuade Dougie and I think what's at stake here is Dougie might get the cops involved. He might get his fucking rich parents involved. It could be a big problem, right? It could be a big, huge problem. And so, do you have any debts on Dougie by chance?
As a matter of fact, I owe him one. So
we'll go ahead and roll that up. Let's see how it goes.
Come on. Oh, baby, that's Snake Eyes.
Okay.
Plus, plus my. Well, it's not going to help me either way. I believe it's plus heart, though, right?
Right. Yeah.
We have 3 there, so
I'm gonna make a note. I'm gonna hold this for now, but I will make a note.
oh man.
Hold that for the future. He gives you a look like he just looks at you and he says, Jerome, I just think you're in too deep here, man. You're in too deep. That old man held a knife to my chest. He cut me, Jerome.
Look, if you're not up for this, maybe you should get out of the whole journalism game, kid. All right?
Oh,
it's tough sometimes.
And he just gets up and he's just like, you're crazy, man. You're fucking crazy. And he just like leaves. Then he comes back and he gets his little tiny Coke and then he leaves again.
Man.
He's done.
I feel like thoroughly dissed. I sit there and I eat his fries after he
should.
leaves.
Both of them. Well, so that just leaves Frankie. Frankie, let's get you on the table here. It's the middle of the day in Austin, over on San Jac and Guadalupe, right over there, by the that little strip of restaurants, that are right there on West Campus or near West Campus. What are you up to? What do you get about your day?
Gosh, I'm actually probably just I'm probably at the Spider House.
Okay.
Just like it's sort of like I have like a kind of a semi-permanent booth set up where people come and like I got my tarot cards out and I kind of read their fortunes and all that shit. And
nice,
so like
nice.
so it's just like people are coming and going and I'm just like, and some of them, get a reading in order to get something a little extra. And those particular readings in scare quotes are a lot more expensive than my regular stuff. So I'm like the fortune telling is also a front for my drug business. So yeah, I'm just kind of like, so I'm just chilling right now with like I think like for the most part like I'm just chilling. I'm like smoking with a couple of the patrons with some so just some beers and some cigarettes and just hanging out and being a cool person. And
I love it.
That's about it. Yeah, right now.
The proprietor of the Spider House Cafe at this point in time is a lovely older vamp.
Okay.
It's a woman.
Right.
She sticks out not only because, well, I mean, she's a vamp, but like that's not why she sticks out. She sticks out because she's actually like she doesn't look like her sort of like bohemian clientele, right?
Right.
She wears like a little red cardigan and like little black like cigarette pants, that would have been popular in the 1960s, And she has gray hair. She's, she must have been turned when she was older, as far as vamps go. But she definitely has like a sort of like, sophisticated, older, fashionable woman thing going on, right?
Okay.
And you know her well. Her name is Evelyn.
Evelyn.
I'm going to put her in the night faction.
Okay.
And she approaches you. And she says, Frankie, dear, are you enjoying your coffee?
Oh, hey, Lenny. Yeah. No, I'm having fun. How are you today? It's a beautiful hot day, isn't it?
It is. I don't find these bright sunny days as enjoyable as you all, as you might imagine.
Yes, of course, and I wink at her. But it's good for my particular complexion, skin, and mental health. I mean, all that vitamin D. Are you supplementing?
She smiles and sits down. I'm so glad you asked because supplements are what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes, of course. I mean, I've got all sorts of stuff, and I sort of like gesture to my backpack.
She kind of like fixes you with a very like a very like placid but very direct steely gaze. It's a vamp thing she does, like where she kind of like draws you in a little bit, right? And just as you're kind of like as the space kind of feels like it's shrinking around you both, like she's creating like personal space between the two of you, she smiles and kind of breaks that sort of glamour a little bit, right? And she says, I know you have connections, Frankie.
That's what I do best.
No. I don't mean connections to chemical supplements. I mean connections to something else that's going on in the city right now.
Well, I got my fingers in a lot of pies. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? Information doesn't come cheap, I'll have you know.
I'm slipping behind the veil, Frankie. It's been happening for some time now. Even the undead are sometimes forced to reckon with a sort of mortality. But it's more like our energy just drifts away over time. It takes a long, long time, but it's happening to me. I feel like I am positively fading.
Well, that doesn't sound particularly fun, does it? Is there anything I can do to help you with that particular problem?
Your boss, Grigor.
Yes.
I've heard that he has come into a new sort of inventory, and I'd like to get my hands on some of it.
Oh, yeah. You mean, okay. All right. So I don't deal with that particularly, but I certainly can. You know what? For a friend, I will go ahead and I'll go back home. I'll talk to Grigor. We'll get things sorted out, and maybe we can get you what you need. It's like, I mean, I know that you're not all that worried about your mortal soul, obviously. So we'll try to fix you up, okay? All right. Yeah, you've been great.
Wonderful, thank you. How about a caramel macchiato on the house, huh?
I prefer my coffee black, thanks. But if you could, do you have what's the special on tap this week?
And she'll go and get you a good cup of coffee. Let's cut there for a minute.
Okay.
So, Gabby, back to your questions. You were looking over our naked, horned demonling.
Yeah, that's right. So, as far as figuring someone out, question one is, what does your character worry might happen?
We should have that in character. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Landon is worried about disappointing Charlie, so he's always trying to kind of make good impressions with Charlie and kind of preempt his desire as much as he can. So I think that's kind of his motivation between like taking this job. It's just he sort of took it in the hope that it would make Charlie happy that he was on it.
So honey, are you worried or are you scared?
And yeah, he leans up against against the wall, like after drying off a little bit, and he's just like, I'm worried, and yeah, I'm scared. I mean, demons aren't playthings, or at least not just playthings.
So the second question is, how could I get your character to be loyal to Gabby?
Be loyal to her. Oh man. I'm not sure you could have like supreme loyalty with Landon, just because his whole shtick is that he's loyal to a demon. But I think that if you helped him out, I mean, he's got this sort of "you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours" kind of mentality. That would probably go a long ways. Because right now, you guys, like, we both kind of hunt together and we hang out, but we also have this weird sort of rivalry. So I think lately there has been this weird tension because of this rivalry, and doing something that was, you know, like helpful and not a kind of something kind of outside of our games, I guess, would probably make a pretty good impression.
Okay, that makes sense. So I think I'm going to turn to you and I'm going to say, you know, I'm getting really hungry. What do you think about going out and hitting the town a little bit? Do you feel up for that, or?
Just FYI, when a vampire says I'm feeling hungry, let's go eat, you should just say no always.
Yeah, Lennon is just like, in case you didn't tell, I've kind of had my fill.
So is she.
There's a huge mess in the other room, and I don't even know how I'm gonna have to ask them if they got bleach. I
think actually, you know, whenever we do end the conversation and walk out, I think it's clean.
Good. The vampire conspiracy in Austin will be very good at like cleaning up bloodbaths, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think that you see Gabby kind of cock her head a little bit, and she's like, well, I think I'm gonna, you know, I still have some urges to satisfy, and I'd suggest you talk to Jeffrey soon, and we'll see what can happen.
And I'm like finishing getting dressed, and he's like, sure, but not until after I've, you know, relaxed a little bit. And then, yeah, I'm gonna go and visit Frankie.
Sounds good. Good. Let's go to Jerome then. Well, so Jerome, after you're done eating both of his small fries, what do you do?
Well, I think actually I might be giving Gabby a call, because like I know that like if I'm going back to the museum, which I do intend to do, I kind of want to have somebody around who can help deal with Mr. Appleby, because obviously I can't handle him by myself, and obviously my intern was very unhelpful at dealing with him as well. I'm definitely like, Jerome's definitely stressing a little bit about having told Mr. Appleby that like Landon and Charlie were like involved in this, but like I'm thinking like hopefully if I just take care of this now, you know, it won't be a problem. He doesn't even have to know about it, you know, and if it does keep on going beyond this, I'll just call him and tell him that, you know, Mr. Appleby thinks that, you know, he's still looking into him, which is, you know, not far from the truth about, you know, me lying about Charlie's interest there. So I give Gabby a call.
Awesome.
And so I have a question. How much does Jerome know about Gabby?
Quite a bit, it seems like, because like based on what we've established, so I kind of help you feed actually.
Okay.
We established that I like know not just about your family, but I also know like your family a little bit.
Right.
I've got, and part of the other reason I'm calling you is that I've got all this debt that I'm sitting on that I might be able to use to get you to help me. But I feel like of the characters, like I know quite a bit about you.
Okay.
And just a quick mechanical note: if you can cash in a debt on Gabby, you get to mark that faction as well for a night. So
right.
So what exactly do you say on the phone? I mean, do you describe what you just?
I think I start off with like some like, oh hey, how's it going? Like small talk, like before we get into it, and then like after like chatting, you're probably like fiending for some blood because like you already said, you're hungry.
Yeah.
I don't know if you tell me to cut to the point before I go. Look, I've got this like problem that I need to a little bit of help with. You know about that museum curator, Mr. Appleby?
Yeah.
How much do you know about this guy?
I just know he seems to have some powerful friends.
I think he's pretty powerful himself. I mean, he pulled some psycho shit on my intern just like 2 hours ago. And now this kid thinks I'm insane and is probably going to get me thrown in the loony bin. But let's not worry about Dougie right now. It's not about him. I need some help. I've got the information. I know how to get into this guy's vault, but he's a pretty fearsome demon. I mean, I've seen him tangle with Landon and Charlie before. I've seen him pull some fucked up shit, not just 2 hours ago. I don't know what you vampires are capable of, like up against like this kind of force, but like I know that like as a mortal, like this is not exactly the kind of thing that I want to be dealing with solo.
Okay, so what exactly you're wanting to do?
I just want you to come with me, kind of watch my back, and if push comes to shove, I want to be able to shove back on this guy, while I just break into the Texas History Museum and check out their little vault downstairs.
Are you cashing that dead end?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I do remind them why it says to remind your debtor why they owe you. And I think that if anything, like I'm invoking to like, hey, I help you out with food. I might even like say like, yeah, help you get like a quick fix in before we go if you want to.
So you say that maybe we can kill two birds with one stone. You say that your intern might cause some trouble for you.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I want to get him. I don't know if I want to embroil him anymore. I mean, I don't want to kill the poor boy, especially since he's been on my watch for a while. And I also don't want him. I mean, unless you could convince him that nothing like ever happened. Like I don't know, mind control, like you do sometimes in the books and the shows.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So, what are the chances that he comes out believing that nothing ever happened, everything's all right, compared to the chances that not only did I get him in line with the demon, but also put him in front of a vampire?
Well, I think that if he spent some time with me, he might remember it. So.
Let's just go get some. Let's get some like dumb frat boy like wasted like we normally do.
Oh, okay. Well, we can come back to Dougie. Maybe there's something else we can do about Dougie.
Like I said, he's not the problem right now. I'm worried about getting into this vault without getting incinerated by this freaking museum curator.
So what you do know about Gabby is she's not a big heavy hitter. She's got, some skills, but they're more in manipulation than they are in overt, punching through things. So this might be a little bit more sneaky or talky.
Right. So what do you think would be, I mean, if the two of us went in here, do you have an idea? I've already tried the sneaky approach and got caught, so a little bit.
So you've been in there, right? And if you described it, don't you have some notes?
Oh yeah, I've got pretty solid notes. Like I've stolen some files from off his desk. I know how to get into the vault. You know, I know the area pretty well.
So I'd say actually, being a journalist, I think that you could probably wire up. I say we get some poor sap to do it for us. So
Tried that one already.
that's right. You sent Dougie in.
I go, you know what? Maybe I should talk to Landon about this. I'm a little bit hesitant because, you know, I may have said some things about Charlie to Mr. Appleby that, you know what? You know, they weren't entirely true, but they weren't entirely false either. I mean, it's possible that.
Go ahead.
What? Well, it's possible that Appleby is going to be going after Charlie soon. I don't know. I mean, he's already gone after Charlie and Landon before, so it wouldn't be like a huge shocker.
Ooh. Okay. So I just left Landon, and he seemed to be kind of feeling like chilling out a little bit. But if I know, I bet he'll be close to campus whenever he goes to chill out. He usually goes over and sees Frankie. So
okay. Sounds like a good cut.
Yep.
Frankie.
Yes.
This can be before Landon comes to find you. Evelyn, Linny, as you call her, she has asked you to go talk to Grigor about his new inventory.
Yeah.
Do you do that? What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna make my way down, down to Nueces and yeah, and I'll talk to him. Yeah, I'll talk to Grigor.
So Grigor's place, I think, so he's a necromancer, right? We've established that.
Yeah.
I think
Grigor's place is a giant yellow house.
I love
Let
it.
me pull it up. I used to live there, and Grigor was a terrible person, and so I want him to be kind of a villain.
I may not portray him in the same way as you're anticipating.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But
well, so Grigor, while you're doing that,
yeah.
I think he is he's a necromancer, but I think instead of like being the classic like pallid, bone thin, you know, ghoulish necromancer character, I think he's actually like really jacked. Like he's like really muscular, really jacked.
Got a big bushy beard.
Yeah, a big bushy beard, but also with like a skull tattoo around his eyes, just to emphasize the necromancer-ness. And
Okay,
he's super buff. He's always working out, and you know as you approach from the outside of the house, to everybody else, it just looks like a big yellow house. And I gather you're getting us a picture here in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you see as you approach from the outside that lets you know what Grigor's true occupation, apart from just being a drug dealer? What is, like, how do you know he's a necromancer? What do you see outside the house that just lets you know that? Like, oh yeah, he also is a necromancer. Something that other people wouldn't notice necessarily.
Wouldn't notice.
Or wouldn't take notice of, because it's Austin, right?
Right. Well, I think there's probably a maybe like there's always an ever lit jack-o'-lantern on like the porch that's just always lit. It never moves, it never changes, it's just and it never rots. It's just like a constant jack-o'-lantern that's just hanging out there, being awesome.
I love it. Presumably filled with some kind of wear-light or spirit or something, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You go in, you hear like I think he's in the middle of working out when you go in there, right? He's like, you know, doing some reps or whatever. He's got like he's got music blasting really loud, you know, I don't know what exactly, but just some kind of like, something really like thrashy and loud,
Yeah.
And he, chunk, chunk, drops the weights down really heavy and goes and turns off the music when he sees you, and he's like, Frankie, I'm so happy to see you. Come in.
Well, hey, Grigor. It's great to be back.
I have a request, Frankie.
Yes, of course, Grigor. Anything for you, my friend?
Powerball is set to $60 million at this time. I need you to give me some numbers. I know you know the numbers, Frankie.
Oh, goodness.
Give me the numbers, Frankie. Read them off to me. What should I play?
How many numbers are in Powerball?
Like 7 or 6.
7, okay. 51.
51. This is a good number. My mother was born in 1951.
1851? No, just kidding. Let's
Possibly.
see. 9?
9. This is good. I had 9 children throughout my life. This is good. Good sign.
34.
34. Last girlfriend. 34 years old when I met her. Very good, Frankie.
And 12. 12's nice, I think.
I have nothing interesting to say about 12, but if your powers tell me that it is 12, then I shall write down 12. That's the 12.
19.
19. Good time to meet woman if you can.
5. And 7.
7. Good. These are good numbers, Frankie. Thank you. Hopefully, this time they will be accurate, huh?
Well, I try my very best. I can never be certain on what's going to happen. Like the spirit moves through me in mysterious ways, my friend. So just know that it might not be this week's Powerball. It could be a Powerball in 30 years' time. We'll never really know for sure. These visions are very imprecise. I feel like I've explained this to you before, Grigor, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself.
Mark corruption, because I think you gave a false prophecy.
Okay.
Just mark corruption. Okay. He says, all right, so you just picked up stash. You just picked up stash yesterday. What do you need now? Huh? You already moved through it? You already moved through stash? That's good. It's good, Frankie.
Well, actually, this is as word seems to be getting out that you have been procuring some non-chemical substances from the east, and there's a woman who is interested in buying one of your ghosts to revamp herself in a way of speaking. But I wasn't aware that these things were for sale, and I'm not, just. So what should I do about that?
First of all, you should not speak of these things with anyone. This is bad stuff, Frankie. I have many connections in city, and I'm a pretty powerful guy, but yes. This is the sort of thing that a lot of people in the city look down on,
Yeah, exactly, and which is why when I heard someone talking about it, to me it's just like I'm your chemical arm. I do not deal with that other stuff. That's
Are
recreation.
You possibly getting a call from Landon right now? Landon, are you firing? Are you lighting up Frankie's cell phone at this moment?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's the phone's ringing. Do you mind, Grigor, if I take this? This is a good friend of mine. He's cool.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
Okay, and then I answer the phone.
I shall bust out more reps.
Okay, yeah, you go right ahead, Grigor. You're good at that. Hey, Landon, what's the haps? And I go sit down on the porch and light up a cigarette while I'm talking.
Where are you? I just dealt with something, and I just really want
Yeah, come to
Yeah,
the Yellow House. Come home. I'm at home. I'm at the German house. Yeah, come on over. Just
Okay, yeah. All right.
crack open some beers. Come on over.
Okay. All right. And then I think we see him like walking up on the sidewalk as maybe like
I
putting out
posted
your
the picture, by the by.
Yeah, I saw it.
Let's see what your corruption move is, Landon, just out of curiosity, or your corruption condition. When you persuade someone on your patron's behalf. Okay, well that seems pretty doable. So you're gonna go find. You're gonna go to the Yellow House to go see Frankie.
Yep.
Cool. You get a phone call. That phone call that you never ever refused to take.
All right.
And it's a phone call. You don't even have to use the phone. Like Charlie can talk to you whenever the fuck he wants, however he wants, but he still like calls you on the phone.
Yeah, and I think like when his name like appears on my screen, it's not like normal either. It's like blood like starts seeping out of like the face of my phone.
Nice.
And like the letters start to shake. And then I swipe. I say hello.
He's like, "What are you doing?"
I was just, going to see Frankie.
Who the fuck is Frankie?
Someone I know. Just connection I've got in town.
Frankie, a connection you've got in town. I'm trying to think if I know a Frankie. Boy, it really sucks being new to Austin. I don't have all the connections that you do. Can you tell me anything about this, Frankie?
Jesus.
That's kind of your job, to keep an eye on things and to tell me things. You know that, right?
Should I? Sorry. Yeah, I know. Maybe I should just. Maybe I can. Maybe I can introduce you.
Or is he hot? I think it says he hot because Frankie, right? Is he hot?
Oh! It's. I'm sorry. It's a woman. I mean, she's got a vagina.
He's like, so that vampire that I just fucked like 2 hours ago while you were tearing off Omar's arms, but whatever. Is she hot?
I mean, objectively, sure. I mean, she's kind of weird, so I don't know.
What do you mean she's weird?
Well,
like Austin weird or like some other kind of weird?
Some other kind of weird. She's told me like she talks about her dreams a lot. She has weird dreams and shit.
Weird dreams and shit. That's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Yeah, so the reason why
I've also seen her with dreads before, so I mean, Austin weird? I don't know, maybe.
Dreads, your mileage may vary. Look, here's the reason why I called. I'm staying over at the Driscoll. I don't know anyone. I'm bored.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, the Driscoll, you said?
The Driscoll. Yeah, it's a big fancy hotel in the town.
All right. Yeah. I can be there and however long it takes to walk there.
All right, great. So he gives you his room number.
All right. Yeah. See you soon.
Well, so do you go to the Driscoll or do you go to Frankie?
Yeah, I like stop I'm on the sidewalk. I stop. I look in one direction. I look at the other, and then I turn around and start walking to the Driscoll. And I text Frankie, "Hey, sorry, I can't make it. Something came up."
Indeed. So, Jerome, you and Maria, what time are you guys going? What time are you guys doing your plan to like break into the museum? When's this happening?
I think that if anything, like before we go in, I kind of want to like scope out like when this guy leaves. Basically, I mean, like maybe I get my like perch overlooking the museum, and like I wait until I see him go, like however long that takes, or at least until I'm confident that he's not around.
Yeah, Yeah, I think he will eventually like leave. Like it would be weird if he just stayed at the museum all the
Right,
time.
right. So it's like, we go over there like around like, it's kind of the day's advancing, so probably around like 5 or so. And
Yeah, they
like,
probably close the museum at like 5. Right.
Right. So museum closes.
He leaves at like 5:30.
Hang out for a bit. Then after it's been like long enough, like maybe like 30 minutes after he leaves to get him, we see him get in his car and drive away. And I think that's going to be when we go in, right?
So just to be clear, you did cash in that debt earlier, so you can erase that if you haven't and mark.
Oh yeah,
Mark
good
faction.
Point. Okay.
Yeah, let me do so. Faction night. And I'm down to 3 debts with her.
I think the way that this works is while he's kind of sticking out the museum on campus, I think I'm, sort of seducing one of the college boys there on campus. And maybe what do you think about him coming in with us? Just meaning, if we need someone to toss in front of the trap, right?
I'm game for it. I think that maybe you just bring him in without even like asking me quite yet. But I think that's more fun if I see him and I'm kind of like, at first I'm like what the hell? And you kind of give me a look and just kind of go along with it.
Oh, I think this is. How about if this is one of the guys who works? Oh, did we establish that? I have a relative that works for
Melissa
Applebee's.
works.
You
Melissa
do,
works
yeah,
at the
Melissa,
museum.
yeah.
Oh, I think I'm gonna see what she's doing if she's around campus.
Okay, so it sounds like that's probably maybe hitting the streets, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have Frankie roll hit the streets for Grigor too. Now, once we kind of get a little bit more into that, whatever she wants from Grigor. So.
Okay.
But roll plus mortality. You already have it marked, so you don't get to mark anything. But go ahead and roll it.
Oh, phew, that's a 7.
Okay, choose one. Well, okay, you're gonna maybe you're going after on a hit. They're available and have whatever you. What are you trying to get from Melissa?
I'm trying to get her key card to get us into the museum.
But then choose one, and then we'll have the scene.
How about she's juggling her own problems?
Okay, great. So, do you just like call her or what? How does this work?
No, I think that I bump into her on campus.
Okay. Does she know you're a vamp?
She does not know I'm a vamp. She knows I'm a relative.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
There's probably some confusion because like you're like probably like her aunt,
Her great aunt
like,
or something.
she
right?
probably thinks that like you're her cousin, is kind of confused about like how that whole like works out. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like the idea of like that she actually thinks that she actually knows you're her like senior aunt, but she just thinks you have a really good like skincare regimen.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I can play it either way, but
yeah, she remembers me coming around whenever she was a little kid.
right,
Like,
exactly.
You don't look like you've aged
You don't look
a
a
day.
day over, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She sees you. She's like, "Oh, she's like Aunt Gabby. Hey, what's going on?"
I was just on campus looking for you. I need to see about you work at this place over at the museum, right?
At the Texas History Museum. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen any illegal things going down at the museum?
Illegal things? What do you mean?
I mean, like, so I've got a friend who's a reporter, and he said that he's investigating your boss, and I wanted to make sure
Mr.
you weren't
Appleby?
messed up in this. Well, I wanted to make sure you weren't messed up in this. Maybe he's wrong, but this guy's really good at his job.
Mr.
So
Appleby, he's like a 75-year-old man. He's like the sweetest man in the world. What kind of crimes would he be involved in?
I don't know. There's some really messed up people out there, but I'm going to say he's innocent. But we need to see if we can't figure out and make sure everything's okay.
So you're telling me that your friend, your colleague, person?
No. This is just a friend of mine who's a reporter. He says
that.
Yeah. He said there's been some people.
Go ahead. Yeah. She just kind of restates what you say, and then she says, "Are the cops involved here? Is this something that are there lawyers? Like what's going on?"
No. This is too early for the cops. Basically, they don't really know anything's going on. We've just seen some people go away, and they come up missing, and there's been some weird activity. You heard about the people in San Antonio, right? Who they were trafficked, and bad things can happen. So I don't really know if any of this is involved with your boss, but my
at the history museum, I'm just so confused.
Well, these things happen. No one would have thought about it.
All right. Well, so what do you need?
So I need to see if you can let us in, so we can see if there's any people in there or any bad stuff. If there is, we need to go to the police. If there's not, then we need to see what's really going on, and we'll move a different way.
You need me to let you into the museum to see if my 75-year-old boss from England is engaged in human trafficking.
Well, it might not be him. It might be someone else. You're not messed up in this, are you?
Look, I have to go back to the museum anyway to go pick up some things, and we'll say this is right before it's just barely closed. I have to go pick up some things. I'll turn my head the other way. All right.
Okay.
But Aunt Gabby, I know you've got some connections to I don't know, you helped my mom that one time, when I was a little kid with that money problem she was having. I'm having kind of a money problem right now. A sort of can't pay my tuition sort of money problem because I am, or not actually, my stipend for being a teaching assistant is not enough, and I kind of could use some cash. So
are you talking about tuition kind of cash? Talking about just a little bit?
I'm talking I'm just kind of in pretty deep on some stuff right now, and I could use about. She kind of she's sussing you out for with the number here.
Yeah.
$5,000.
So, is this gonna? So I want to know a little bit about. So she's asking me for some money.
Yeah.
And I want to know a little bit about why she's asking me for money. You
could read her. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Does that figure someone out?
Yeah. Figure someone out. Go ahead and roll it. I'm gonna cut away for a minute.
Okay, so that's an 8 plus whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Jerome, you're scoping out the museum. It's closed. You're waiting on Maria, who is allegedly going to get you in here, or Gabby rather. You're waiting on Gabby, and you don't know what's going on with that. But you're just scoping the place out. You're there. Your phone is buzzing right now.
Yeah, who is it?
You have a text message from your wife.
Ex-wife.
Your ex-wife. With the text that basically says, it was your night to come pick up your daughter. She's been waiting for almost an hour, and she's bawling her eyes out right now.
Well,
message number 2. She thinks her father doesn't love her, Jerome.
Well, oh man, it's not on my calendar. It was not on my calendar. I'm texting her back oh, sorry, I had no idea.
You had no idea? Big cap letters. No idea.
I think that my honestly first thought is in my defense, I think that she might be bullshitting me. I think that I'm on top of my game here, and even if he's not, even if he's actually wrong, his first impulse is to get super defensive and be hey, I mean, look, I've got this all planned out. There's no way possibly that.
She sends a text and says, "Should I tell your daughter that her father forgot to put her on his calendar?"
No, to send her a text that says she's on my calendar for tomorrow and several days next week.
And then she sends you like an iCal thing showing you that you're wrong and like all this other stuff, and a series of emails where you guys agreed to this like day change and all this other stuff she sends you.
She's bringing it all in on me. Can I go? I mean,
if you go, this plan is done. It's
no. I'm not going to go right now. I'm going to tell her that I'll be there in like an hour and a half. Be in an hour. Tell her I'm caught up at work. Got a lot going on right now, and I'll be there ASAP. I'm right in the middle of something, but I'll be out of here really quickly.
Mark corruption.
All right. But yeah, I am at least, and for the time being, until I get this done. For the time being, going off.
Smash cut over to Frankie. Frankie, let's have that roll. Because you were basically hitting the streets, right?
Right.
So go ahead and roll plus the faction, which is going to be power in this case.
Okay. Let's see, 9. 9.
Okay, awesome.
9.
You can go ahead and mark. You can mark that faction as well. You can mark power.
Okay, cool.
And on a 9, he's got what you need, but he's got his own problems. We'll talk about that. So he says, after you get done with your phone call with Frankie or whatever, and you come back in, he's like, Frankie, look, I can help your friend who wants some of my new supply, but I'm going to need your help with something. Which do you choose for those?
Juggling their own problems, whatever you need. I think juggling their own problems.
Okay. He says, I'm going to need your help with something. I've been trying to get back in with estranged girlfriend for some weeks now.
Oh, Mad Dog. Yeah, no, I know.
No, not Mad Dog. Other estranged girlfriend. Christine.
Right. Christine. Yeah, so, what do you want me to do?
Christine is Ferry. Do you know Ferry?
Yes, of course. Sometimes I go down to the Hollow and, sell some stuff there. That's what I do.
I have told her that you have had vision of she and I getting back together. I've told her that you have had prophecy about this is the way it must go. And I'm going to need you to counsel her in this way. I'm going to need you to let her know that you have had prophecy, that she and I will be together.
You know, Grigor, I have a feeling that's okay, all right, okay, but you gotta help me out though. You gotta help me out with this because the last time me and Christine were together, things got a little bit crazy, and it's complicated. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it, Grigor. So you'll help me out with this ghost thing?
Yeah. I've got some in the back. He goes.
All right. Good. Would you do you think you could have some extra stuff for me in my room when I get back? Because that would be really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You better make prophecy good, huh?
Okay. I you know me. I'm real good at making prophecies real good because that's what I do. I'm a prophetic motherfucker.
He brings back a used Gatorade bottle, and with the sticker badly taken off. There's still got some sticker burn on one side of the bottle, and inside it has just this little sort of glowing green miasma bouncing around inside of it. says, "This will help your friend. It has electrolytes. Will make her feel real good."
Yeah. Yeah. What's my cut though? What am I getting from? What's the exchange ratio here? And the price obviously. So yeah.
I just need the prophecy. I don't care. These ghost spirits they're nothing as long as you know where to get them.
Oh, okay. Well,
Austin is very old town.
Yeah,
Lots of ghosts.
course. Oh, great. Cool.
But you have to
Thank
keep this
you.
under wraps. All right, Frankie?
Okay. This is just the prophecy, and I'll get the ghoster aid to Lenny. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Cool. And I stuff
Whatever
the
you do,
the
don't
gator.
open bottle, Frankie.
Oh. Well, so how do you like administer this? This is new to me. Let's.
If your
She's
friend
just
knows I have this, she's going to know what to do. But you don't open
okay.
that bottle, huh?
All right, I will. I will. I'm gonna hoof it right over there, and then I'll go down to the lake. Does that sound?
Come spot me. He goes to the
Okay.
edge.
All right. Yeah. Anything for you, Grigor. It's good. We're grand. Okay. All right. One.
Indeed. Landon. So you were just summoned by Charlie.
Yep.
It's like early evening. Charlie's bored. He's new to Austin. He doesn't have any friends yet, and he's demanded you come over.
Yeah.
How does he get when he's like this?
How does Landon get? Or how does Charlie get? Okay.
Yeah, how does Charlie get? Because he can be kind of impetuous, right? Like.
Yeah. So I think when Charlie starts making demands and gets impatient, then Landon is usually, trying to prepare himself for a rough time. Yeah, so I imagine that Charlie is going to be putting him through some paces.
Indeed. Hey, let's take a quick
yeah.
break. I just want to kind of figure out that real quick. Let's take a 3-minute break, okay?
Boom.
Cool. Update my notes a little bit. Some things were going on. I was so wrapped up in the story, I forgot to give us a break.
Yeah, this is fun.
I was really, really wrapped up in like all the different things, and I was like, "Oh shit, I need a break."
I'm loving how you're portraying Grigor. By the way, it's pretty great.
Yeah, I'm going for kind of a comic approach to Grigor, which is not tiresome.
No, it's amazing. It's perfect. Well, I don't know. Like my characters tend to be comic, so it's good to have that.
I just like the idea of like I think he kind of like thinks you have some power, maybe, but also kind of thinks you're full of shit, but maybe you sell it well, so he's going to use it
right.
to go to the Christine and like, yeah.
No, I have a reputation.
You have a reputation, indeed.
But it's dubious at best, which is kind of how I like it.
Awesome. All right. Because we're waiting on Philip and Stephen still. Yeah, and I was trying to wrap Christine a little more tightly into some of the drama. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Making Grigor her ex-boyfriend, not Mad Dog. I like how he's like, no, not Mad Dog.
Yeah, no, that was great. I really appreciated that. I was just like, what? Yeah, that was beautiful. It was a beautiful delivery. It was just like, no, not Mad Dog, Christine. Gonna mute.
Philip, are you back? And just off camera, or okay? Oh, I see your note, Stephen. Yeah, there is a traffic move in the Codex Blood. What was the context you were thinking about? We should use that.
Oh, you were talking to Jerome about trying to hurriedly go home and pick up his daughter.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, it sounds like he's blown that off anyway. So.
Well, for an hour or two.
Yeah, exactly, precisely. And the traffic move applies like basically any time. Like it's like it doesn't matter what time of day it is. You could be in the middle of the night and there could be a traffic jam. So.
Well, it's during a time of day when there should not be any traffic. So if it's like the middle of rush hour, then I think you're okay.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, according to the move, I guess it has to be a time when there shouldn't be any traffic. Yeah, can't remember, but I wrote that 100 years ago. But is everybody just to check in with everybody? Is everybody cool with how it's all going so far? Any feedback points or anything we need to talk about?
Yeah, this is awesome. I didn't know what to expect, but I am enjoying it.
Good. Yeah, I'm about to get real grim here in a second, so hopefully the lighter tone of last season was just to tee this scene up right here. Landon, the Driscoll is beautiful, right? Like it is like this it's like this big multi-story. It's down on Congress. I think it's on Congress Street, maybe 4th Street or 6th Street. I can't remember. But anyway, it's this big, beautiful hotel, and like very like kind of almost antebellum looking, right? This beautiful woods, very old timey looking. It's really expensive, and it's the kind of place that like when politicians are in Austin, from out of town for some reason, like, they stay at the Driscoll, right? Like their nice cars drive up and drop them off. It's that kind of place, right? And of course, it's the kind of place that Charlie would stay. And it's still fairly early in the evening. It's probably only about 5:30 p.m. And You see Charlie right away in the bar. Beautiful, long, like elegant, brass accented bar. And he is there with this older guy that you don't recognize. Older guy, kind of working class looking guy, thin hair. Doesn't look like he's really like doesn't belong to the Driscoll, that's for sure. At least not, no, it's not the normal sort of clientele anyway. Boots, jeans, that kind of thing. And he sees you and he says, Landon, I'm so happy to see you right now.
And I walk over to his side and kind of there's this thing I do where I kind of lean my hip against him.
Against Charlie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Charlie, just to remind everybody, he kind of looks a little bit like, it doesn't really look like your type at all, really, based on what we know about your taste of the chain drive. He looks a little bit like, looks very preppy. He looks a little bit like Neil Patrick Harris. He's wearing a nice suit, like that kind of thing. And you kind of do your thing, and he's like, he kind of smiles and he says, "This is my friend Carl. Carl, this is Landon." He introduces you, and he says, "I was hoping the three of us could go up to my room and discuss some business. What do you say?"
Yeah, let's go. Let's do business.
You can tell that Carl has been crying. He was drinking something in a double old fashioned, but there's just ice cubes left, and his eyes are red. He's clearly been crying. How does that make you feel?
I think it makes me scared because, yeah, I'm scared that maybe Charlie is in one of his more sadistic moods right now. I'm wondering if that's why this guy's crying. So,
Indeed. You can try to figure out this guy or Charlie right now if you think that would be helpful, but otherwise we can just press forward in the scene.
Let's just press forward.
So you get up to Charlie's room. He has a big suite. It's beautiful. Probably costs like $500 a night, $600 a night, and very tastefully decorated. And it's up on like the third floor, high, big, tall, pretty high as far as downtown places in Austin go, and very tastefully decorated, sort of like old, kind of like Southern kind of like, look, very, sort of classical look. And you still don't know who this guy Carl is, right? And he takes you in, and he just says, "Carl, if you'll just wait over there, I'm gonna go chat with my associate for a minute." And he kind of takes you aside to a different part of the suite, to where Carl can't hear you. And he says, "Landon, that is a gentleman, a contractor that I owe a lot of money to right now, a tremendous amount of money. And I need him to kind of disappear. And I've been kind of thinking about ways we could make this happen. Carl's going through a bit of a rough patch right now. He needs this money from me really, really bad. His marriage is on the rocks. He's not in good shape. He's been pouring out his heart all night. And I'm doing my best to be empathetic, but he's just a fucking loser that I don't care about, if I'm being really honest. But he's pretty vulnerable right now. And you kind of have your way. You're a little bit more persuasive than I am. You have that on me, I think. And I'd really love it if, say, in the next 30 or 40 minutes or so, the cops were cleaning up Carl's body off the sidewalk outside the Driscoll.
And of course, I agree. I say, yeah, I can do that. But like, after I agree, like after I've already kind of committed myself, I'll look at Charlie and try and read him.
To see where. Okay, go for it. Go ahead and roll that. Yeah. Figure him out.
All right, and that move is figure someone out. Roll with mind, right?
Mind, yeah.
Okay. -1 mind. I got a 3.
And he kind of like sits. He kind of like says, I want this to go down a real specific way, Landon.
Yeah.
And while he's saying this, he's like getting undressed. He's taking off his suit. He's taking off his suit. He's getting, he's kind of getting really comfortable, right? He puts a robe on with no underwear or anything underneath it, just the robe and him and his slippers. And he says, I want him to do it of his own volition. Just
okay.
Convince him to climb up there and bloop. It's easy. I'm going to be here watching, if you don't mind.
Okay. So I think I can ask a question even on a miss if they're in the same faction. Mm-hmm. So I just want to know what does he worry might happen? What does Charlie worry might happen if this doesn't happen?
He worries that he's going to have to do it himself, and if he does it himself, if he has to do it himself, he's going to be really fucking unhappy with you, and he doesn't want to be unhappy with you because he quite likes you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I look in the room and we're in the room now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I turn and I look at this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You were reading, Gabby, Melissa, right? Or you were trying to figure out what's going on with Melissa?
Yeah, I think I got one.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be, who's pulling her strings?
I think Melissa is in... Okay. Do you just like come out and ask her, or like what? How's this go down?
I tell her I don't think I have enough for that right now. I might be able to pull some together. When do you need it by? And what do you need it for?
I need it like yesterday, Gabby. Okay, like yesterday. I'm in real fucking deep right now, Gabby. Really fucking deep.
But with with tuition, it shouldn't
not with tuition, okay. Something worse.
Like?
Gabby, I'm a dealer.
Okay, what are you dealing?
A dealer, like illegal substances and stuff.
Sure, pot, crank, meth.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I guess you've been sampling your own wares and you're short?
Yeah, short is a good way of putting it. If I don't come up with $5,000, Gricor's gonna fucking kill me. And I've heard, this is fucking crazy. I know this is totally crazy. but I've heard that like the people who he takes out, the people who cross him, they don't really go away.
Hmm.
Like,
Gregor's bad news.
do you know him?
I know of him, and I've heard really bad things. So, is this something you want to continue doing?
I just want to clear this debt and be done with it.
Okay. Let me see what I can do to help. I have a little bit of money stashed away right now that I can get you that'll probably keep them off your back for a day or two.
Yeah.
But to come up with that full amount, it'll take a little while.
Great. Awesome. Thanks. Let's head over to the museum. Let's make this quick.
Okay. So I think as we head up to the museum, I'm gonna gesture to Jerome.
Indeed.
Actually, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna let her go in. Just in case there's cameras everywhere. I'm gonna let her go in. I'm gonna go grab Jerome on my own, and then we'll tail her in. So basically,
Okay,
she'll
sounds
swipe
good.
to go in, and we'll just sneak in behind her, almost
behind
as
her.
if she didn't know us.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You're a vampire. Do you really need to worry about cameras?
You're a human.
But,
Do you really need
yeah,
to worry
so-
about being fed on?
Point taken. Point taken. So yeah, that sounds like a plan.
With Gabby's help, you can get in, no problem. So yeah, you're in.
Okay.
So is this?
So-
How about investigate a place of power?
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I think so. Especially once you get to the basement, right?
Okay.
So yeah. Or do you guys want to trigger that move?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's where we're going. Yeah, but I'm ready to head straight down to the basement. You know, as long as we can. I mean, we've got her key card, and I've got my info that I've gained. So hopefully we can get down there pretty easily. And then I'm down for investigating it.
Yeah, Gabby gets the benefit of the faction mark if that matters. If you want to be the principal roller, Gabby.
So I think that I'm gonna ask Jerome, how much cash do you have on you?
I've got like, I don't know, like $120.
I'll take 100, and I'm good for it.
Good for what here?
I need your 100 right now. And I pull out, I think I pull out this teeny little purse thing, and I start kind of flipping through it, and I pull out a few hundred myself. I say, I need your 100. Cough it up, and then we'll be at about our business.
I'm eager to get going, so I'll roll with you on this one. I'm like, we'll figure this out later. And I hand you the money.
Yeah, and I think that's whenever I go back to Melissa's office area kind of thing where she would be, and put the money on the desk where she sees it, and then we head down to the basement.
Yeah, she was like, oh, good. She's like, how much longer are you guys going to be, Aunt Gabby?
You can leave whenever you want. We'll leave on our own.
All right, great.
You didn't see us here. You don't know anything about it. We don't know anything about you.
So, where are you guys? You think there's something going on in the basement?
Oh no. We're not sure where this is. We need to look around the whole place.
Okay. Sure.
We might be a while, so that's why you shouldn't wait on us.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying because, well, sometimes there are like really weird noises that come from the basement. Mr. Appleby says it's nothing, but I know I sometimes hear stuff down there.
Well, with your history and your little side job that you're doing, it might be best if you leave if we have to call the cops.
Okay, yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah, thanks, and thanks for your help with Gregor and Gabby. It's you might literally be saving my life.
Okay.
And then she'll leave. She'll be gone by the time if you look for her again. So
okay.
So investigate a place of power.
Yeah. So I think I'll head down. So I'm going to head down near where her office is because she said she heard noises. And I think closer to her office might be an area. Maybe I can see where air vents are or something like that. That's the place where we might need to start.
Okay. Yeah, so that sounds good.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll that. See how it goes.
Yeah. And that is with wild. Is that right? 0. I got a 9.
All right. Let's see here. So on a hit, you see below the surface to the reality underneath. Great. So we already have kind of indicated that, like, he has, like, we believe that he's collecting, like, artifacts of some sort, right? Or, you know, like sort of like really, really bad juju kind of stuff associated with Texas history. He's got that down in the basement.
So actually, I've got a 9. Jerome, did you want to try and help?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll lend a hand in that. So
Because if you can, we might be able to get some other stuff.
How does the assist move work in this?
It's lend a hand, and it's you roll with my faction.
Roll with your faction?
Yep, so that would be knight.
Okay, I'll do a flat roll on that. Okay, there we go. Roll with my faction. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
it's 10.
Oh. Okay.
Nice. So that bumps it up to 10 then. Well, so I'll kind of finish what I was saying, and you get to ask me one more question as well. It sounds like about the schemes and politics of the faction question. Okay. So, yeah. So, okay. They have really, really ancient stuff down here. Okay. And I'm going to ask you how you know this, Gabby, as you kind of like make your way down through the basement. But there's going to be something they have down here that's older even than Texas. Like it's older than like before these lands were even like populated. Like it's down here in the basement. How do you get that sense of something particularly dreadful and old?
Yeah, so basically, I've seen this kind of stuff before. The elders have their own area that they keep in the coven. And some of them they aren't native to this area. And what this looks like is maybe something Mayan or Aztec, that maybe this is...
You don't see it yet, you just feel it.
Oh, okay. So I feel that same sense of dread as I get in closer. Like I did. So the elders things that they have are like an old knife that's made out of flint steel, and maybe like a carved rock that looks Mayan or something like that. Like maybe it's a cornerstone of a sacrificial table or something like that. And they seem to keep this stuff to themselves, and it's only because I've snuck in maybe, or I've been asked to do favors for some of the elders that I've seen this, and it just gives you the chills when you get close to it.
Nice. And that thing you're getting the chills from, whatever it is, it's definitely behind that vault door. Okay. As you're getting closer and closer, you're just feeling it. Right?
I feel like if she's like, I don't know, do I feel anything from this, or am I like already at the vault door, like starting
I think you're
to
just
like
at the vault door. Well, so I'm kind of imagining Gabby was like going in first because Gabby got the principal role. So maybe you're going to come up here in a moment. But before you do, and I'm going to cut away after this, you guys are down in the basement. I think there's just emergency lighting on, like like it's low kind of white light, and behind you, Jerome, you hear a voice, the voice that sounds like a young person who says, "Help me! Oh my God, help me! Please help me! Please!"
Coming from behind what?
Behind you. In the darkness.
I mean, I'll very quickly like turn around, and I think I've got like the flashlight like on my phone like ready. What do I see?
At the edge of your light, what you see illuminated initially is a face, and you'll recognize the face. It's one of the young people who went missing. Okay, it's who knows? You don't remember the name, but you recognize the face from the pictures that you've seen around. And he looks really scared, and he's got tears running down his eyes, and he just looks absolutely terrified, but all you can see is his face. And you'd have to step in a little closer to get the full picture, do you?
Oh, I'll do it.
You step closer and you realize that he's just like a human face on a large, bloated, corpulent, maggot-like body down there in the basement, swelling, varicose veined all over, with little tiny stubby legs underneath. And he's just like, "Oh my God, please help me. Help me." And I'm going to cut away from that. So, Frankie.
Yeah.
You got your Gatorade bottle with the ghost in it. You never heard back from, or no, he did. He messaged you and said he couldn't make it after all, right?
Yeah.
Landon. Was that fishy? Like, Landon, would that have been kind of funny? Like, for you to say, "Oh, I'm coming," and then not? Or
I don't know. Maybe not fishy. Maybe annoying.
Fair enough. Well, so where do you head, Frankie? What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna text Landon and be like, "Hey, man, why don't you come over to the Spider House? I'm gonna, why don't you come down to the lake? Why don't you come down to the lake this evening? We got some stuff to take care of down there. Need your help. But I'm obviously not actually saying the us, but in the text message, but still. Anyway, so and then I head up to the Spider Cafe just to unload the ghost.
Nice.
Because I don't wanna hold this thing for too long.
Indeed.
Freaking me out.
Did you just do this for Evelyn, like free of charge? Are you taking a debt on her for this, or?
Oh no. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think a debt would be good.
Yeah, because you guys didn't actually negotiate anything. You're just doing it to be friendly. So.
No, I was gonna negotiate once I got it. I was gonna be like, "Hey."
Okay. I mean, you can mechanically take the debt now, and then you can spend it later if you want. So.
All right. So okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going up to the Spider House Cafe.
The guy who works at the front, he'll say, "Oh yeah, Evelyn's in her office. She said you might be coming by. You can go back there."
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Bob. Okay. And I go up.
When you get inside, you find Evelyn in the back, with a really, really young guy, really young, kind of like college age, frat boy guy, right? And she sees you and she says, "Oh, sorry, don't mind him. It's no big deal. I've glamored him. He'll stay there and sit here and be perfectly quiet while we do our business, Frankie."
Oh,
and the guy's just sitting there with like a big dopey smile on his face.
Yeah, that's great. That's real great. Yeah. Hey, Lenny. So. What's the asking price, or what's the wanting price? I suppose. What do you want for this situation? We didn't really negotiate, so I'm just curious what it costs you.
I thought I'd just owe you one, Frankie. I mean, I'm an elder vampire in the city. That's got to be worth something, right? To be in my good graces.
Yeah. You'll have to owe me a big one, because this is a big favor. We're not supposed to be. Word's not supposed to be getting around, and I got in a little bit of trouble with my boss, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting something for this, because it's causing me some trouble. And I just, I know that you're a powerful person, and I appreciate that you allow me to do my work here. I feel like you owe me a big one. So,
she's like, "You bet. Done."
Do we have a deal? Okay, and then I shake her hand.
Yeah, cold, ice cold, right?
Yeah.
She
Like,
takes that
all right.
Gatorade bottle and she says,
Yeah.
she says, I have to tell you, I don't know what this is going to be like exactly, but
Well,
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, let me know, because you know, if it's
She just opens it right up. she pops that orange cap right off, and there's like a rush of like something like out of the bottle, and then it kind of like whatever it is, it kind of rushes out and kind of like slams up against the corner of the room, and it's like a young it's like a teenage girl, maybe like 15 or 16 or something like that. She's wearing kind of like a quinceanera dress, you know, like a kind of
Yeah.
you know, flowy like gown thing, like she was at some party or something. And she just looks really, really frightened. Like she doesn't know where she's at. She doesn't know what's going on. And she's just kind of, you know, she's not making any sounds, but she's just like looks really scared. And Evelyn walks over to the corner and she's kind of says some soothing, reassuring words to this young girl in this like taffeta dress. And like, you know, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. Like it's all going to be okay now. And at that point, like Evelyn bares her fangs and kind of opens her mouth like that. And you just see like the green like ectoplasm that is this ghost's being or whatever just begins to like be leached out of her, like in like just drawing out of her. And she cries out, she screams, whatever it is, whatever Evelyn's doing to her, it's pretty painful. And what do you do?
Oh, I can see you're having a moment, so I'll catch you later, Lenny. Thanks for the deal.
Indeed.
I kind of just like edge out.
Indeed. I think this might be actually. I'm going to make this escape because you're kind of escaping a situation.
Okay.
Of sorts.
All right. What's a basic
roll
move?
of blood? Yeah.
Oh, blood. Oh, that's 10.
Okay.
Gosh.
On a hit, you get away. On a 10 plus, you choose one.
Wait.
Do you have the list in front of you?
Yeah, I have the list in front of me. Golly.
Marking corruption might be the most. That makes the most fictional sense, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna wind up doing, is marking corruption.
Because you're essentially kind of like ignoring this, right?
Yeah. I'm like,
whatever's going on.
Yeah. I'm a reluctant oracle in a lot of ways, but I'm also like not reluctant. I'm like into it, but I'm not at the same time. I'm just like, it freaks me out, but it excites me.
Go ahead and mark corruption, but you otherwise get away. When you get out there, the guy who works the front, you know, kind of a classic hipster guy, right? I think he's wearing a fedora and a vest. He's like, "You're all right. You look a little shaken."
Yeah. Hey, you got a smoke on you? You got a smoke on you? Can we? Do you wanna?
He's like, I've got like oregano cigarettes. Is that good enough? Or?
You know, if I wanted oregano, I can just munch it off the side of the streets. I mean, it's everywhere. No, I'm good.
I got some
thanks.
heroin.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's why don't we go to the bathroom? You wanna hang out?
Let's hang out. Yeah. He's like, my shift's over right now.
All right.
Let's go to so you got this guy Carl, right? Landon, and
his deal his deal is that his life's just a mess, right? Like if he doesn't get this money, then what was it?
His marriage is on the rocks. It looks like he's
Okay.
probably suffering from like some kind of depression. So he just looks to be in really bad shape, and he's been kind of basically trying to get Charlie to pay him this money. Charlie owes him, and Charlie won't do it. And instead, Charlie here is like living it up at the Driscoll, right? Yeah, and like Charlie is Charlie is wearing like I think let's just go over the top here. I think Charlie's wearing like a black silk kimono with like a gold dragon embroidered on the back. And like slippers, and like he's got like a drink, he's got like some sake, right? And he's just like, all right, so we're gonna do this or what?
And I look at him and I'm like, yeah, I just gotta use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
He's like, hurry up. He's like, and he kind of points like at his crotch, and he's like, this ain't gonna last all night, so let's get this done.
Yeah, so I go in the bathroom and I turn on the faucet, and then I open my phone and I'm just looking through my contacts. I think his name is Carl, right? So I think what I do is I like get online and I try and look him up and see if I can find him somehow.
Yeah. Maybe he has like the name of his company like on his shirt or whatever, right? So.
Would this be a move at all, or
what are you trying to accomplish? Yeah, can we put a name?
Would it be like hit the streets, or
maybe put a face to a name? What are you trying to accomplish? I think is the more important thing.
I'm trying to like see if I can find a way to either get someone to call him, or to call him. I guess maybe call myself in the bathroom.
You want someone to interrupt this situation.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. But without making it seem like it was coming from me.
From you, right? Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I'm into that. Okay, so let's do this. I think it might be. It could be. It's a hit the streets of sorts, right?
It's like a
mortality. So.
Right. Okay. So I have.
You'll get to mark mortality as well.
I have 0 mortality, so I'm not rolling plus anything. Let's do this roll. I got an 8.
8. All right.
So
who are you trying? So you could just name whoever you want to find. Like who of Carl's you would get him to call Carl right now. With?
I think I call maybe his wife.
Okay.
And then
which of the choices do you want to make?
I guess I think the first one makes the most sense. Whoever you're going to is juggling their own problems.
So you call the wife, and she's like, yeah, hello.
Are you Carl's wife?
Yeah, I am.
Look, I don't really know how to say this, but what's the name of this place again?
You're at the Driscoll Hotel.
The Driscoll. I don't really know how to say this, but I'm at the Driscoll, and your husband's in the suite up here, and I think he's about to jump.
She's like, wait, hold on. You're in a suite at the Driscoll with my husband? Is he fucking around on me again? Is that what's going on here?
What?
What's he giving you, huh? Like you sound pretty young. Like he's like a 50-year-old man.
Well,
Is that where all of our
did you hear
money's
me?
going? Is all of our money going into your pocket right now? Is that what's happening? Is he like your sugar daddy? What the fuck?
No, look, you need to call him and get him out of here because it's really dangerous for him to be here right now. I'm not really with him. I just, I was helping him with something, and look, you really got to call him and just get him out of here, like right now.
She will. She will. And the phone rings, and you can hear him like arguing with her, and you hear him
the faucet.
Yeah. And you can hear him saying like, "What are you talking about? I'm not here with some hot young hustler at the Driscoll. What are you talking about?" And it's all like kind of going on, and they're just like arguing and yelling, and that's all just happening. And meanwhile, Charlie comes up to you and he's like, "Fuck, the wife called." Of course. And if I know humankind well enough, I know that he'll resolve to live another day, to fight another day, just to get one over on her, just to have it out with her. So there goes my night.
And I kind of swallow a knot in my neck, in my throat, and walk up to him and kind of put on this smile, and I'm like, "Got anything else in mind? I mean,"
he's like,
"Get out of here."
He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna take care of this. That's what's gonna happen tonight. That's what I have on my mind."
Okay, yeah, let's go. Where do you want to? Where is this happening?
He's like, "I don't know. I imagine Carl's gonna be on the phone for another 10 minutes, so we should be cool wherever."
Yeah. I mean, how about the roof? I mean, the roof's good, right?
Indeed. Okay, so that's an embassy move with Dark Patron. He gives you a debt they hold on someone else. Let's see here. Does he hold one on anybody? He holds just 2 on you, so I'll just give away one of yours. So. And Charlie's fine, and Carl will live, at least at this moment.
I actually owed him 3. If you want to.
Oh, did you owe him 3? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I only had 2 marked down, but.
Yeah, I just changed mine to 3 on mine to 2 on my sheet, and then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he held 2 on you, right? I don't know what you hold on.
I owed him 3.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, so back in the basement of the Texas History Museum, you see this large, bloated maggot thing with the face of this missing kid on its body, desperately crying for help. What do you do right now, Jerome?
I'm definitely momentarily horrified, but
yeah.
But like the first thing I say is like, "I don't know if I'm the person who can solve your problems, kid."
And he just goes, and like there's just like a big gout of like acidic vomit that just flies at you. Just sprays all over your body, sprays all over your clothes and your face.
Oh no!
You take 2 harm.
No.
And then,
like, desperately wiping it off with my jacket, which is so.
Gabby, what are you doing? You see this?
So whenever I see this, I think the first thing I do is I'm going to pull out my pistols and shoot it.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. All right, that's going to be Unleash, unless you want to do some Let It Out vampire powers, but Unleash will do for now.
No, I don't think so. Okay.
Okay.
So That is plus blood. My blood is 1, so that's an 8.
All right, so let's see here. Okay, you'll do harms established, and then and choose one, and then choose another one from the 79 list.
Yeah. I think I'm going to inflict terrible harm.
Okay, and what's your harms established on the gun?
Let me look. Two harm. Close,
Okay.
reload, small. Okay.
Good.
So 2 harm, and I think I'll take harm on me.
Okay, cool. And yeah, it'll like as you're firing off the thing, like it'll spray a gout of the burning puke on you as well. It's not dead yet, but pretty close. Jerome, what do you do? The thing is reeling.
For shooting this damn thing, I'm going to shoot it too.
Okay, go for it.
Well, as I'm like wiping the shit off my face with my jacket, pulling out my gun and firing as well. I have an marksman, so I get to roll that one with mine.
Nice.
And that's going to be an 11.
Sweet. All right. Which do you choose?
This thing looks like it's almost dead anyway.
Yeah, terrible harm will kill it. Actually, regular harm will kill it, so you can choose take something from them.
Yeah, I'll take something from. What would I take though?
From this maggot thing.
I don't know. I'll let you know if you want to choose that one. I'll sort it out for you.
Yeah, sure. I'll get something from maggot thing. I don't know.
Describe what it looks like when you kill it.
I think that I'm like too reluctant to like shoot it in its face because that part's like still human.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of like shoot it sort of across where like one of the bullets from Gabby had hit it, and it kind of pops open like a side of it, and like a big pool of that bile just kind of pours out as it sort of like inflates, but like enough of it seeps out that it kind of just like falls to the floor with a very gross plop.
And as you shoot it, it sloughs down to the ground, and like its body kind of splits open, and another one of the missing kids is inside of it. I think it's a young woman. You don't know her name, but you recognize her from the pictures. She's covered in this like disgusting maggot bile like all over her, but the lower half of her body is like in process. She's becoming like one of the maggots. So she's just like crawling on her hands, dragging like the lower part of her body, which is like this pulsating, sickly gray white mass. We'll cut from there.
Exactly what I wanted.
Exactly. Let's take like a 2-minute break. All right. Jen, you there?
Yep.
Cool. This half maggotified young woman, she just reaches up and looks up at you with this like desperate look in her eyes, Jerome, and she just says, "Please help me, please."
And I promised her, I go, look, I'll do what I can. Just try not to puke that shit on me. This is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but I'll see if we can find something down here that might be able to. I mean, I don't know what has he done to you? Like, what did this?
She just keeps crying, "Help me, help me." And Gabby, I think you get the lay of it here. I think she wants to like be ended, like
right. So I think that's whenever. I think I probably step on the back end of her,
mhm.
with the part that's kind of grubbish, and I give her a good solid yank to try and split her.
Okay.
So that there's a human half and a bug half.
Right.
And I think he has some proof now of missing people.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah.
Grim. And I'm going to cut the scene with you getting a text from your ex-wife, Jerome, that says, "It's been 2 hours!" Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. "Call me now."
Yeah, I'm slightly in the middle of something. I'm not calling her right now. I'm calling the question is, do I call the police or do I check out like what else this guy has in his basement first? I feel like I need to check what else this guy has in his basement. I'll be able to call her in like 30 minutes. I don't text her back at this point, but like I'm very close to being able to call her. This has definitely been a little bit more involved than I'd expected. I want this, like, my game plan from here is I'm gonna get what's in that vault. I'm gonna call the police. Yeah, that's the plan.
And you're going to mark corruption.
Yeah.
Gabby, you haven't fed in a while either, just FYI.
Yeah, and I need to.
So, I think it'd be fun if later in the evening, Landon and Frankie.
I actually had an idea, actually.
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
Uh-huh.
So after I finish things with Charlie, I want to like go and hunt down this guy and off him.
Who, Carl?
Yeah, and make it look like he killed himself.
Really? Why?
Because that's gonna make Charlie like at least have some content that this guy.
True.
Yeah.
True. Good point. Good point.
So, like, even though it's still super fucked up.
You just didn't want to do it the way that Charlie wanted you to do it, basically.
Yeah, I needed to finagle it a little bit, but no, I need to make sure that Charlie is not mad at me because something didn't happen. So something needs to happen.
Right, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, okay, well, so maybe you can do that. I don't know if maybe you do it this session or not, but he probably needs to get away for a little bit, right?
Right.
So I want to just get a read on Frankie. Where do you go after your encounter with?
Well, I texted Landon, meet me at the lake, and so I'm going to the lake. I'm going to the Hippie Hollow to meet up with Christine.
Yeah.
So.
Do you go with her, Landon? Or you want to carry out this mission against Carl?
I could save the mission. I can go with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah, one more thing on the agenda, right?
Dream team!
So down to Hippie Hollow. Yeah. So it's a bunch of naked people, various ages, all hippies, and they are dancing and playing drums and singing and all that kind of stuff. but there's also like the Fae influence of the place too, right? Like they're not all Fae, but many of them are. Some of them are. How do you know when you're both of you, as you arrive at Hippie Hollow, how do you know that there's like Fae magic in the air? What do you see or what do you experience?
Oh, I think I can feel it. Like, I think you can kind of see, like parts of my skin kind of fade, and you can see like the black underneath. Like it's kind of causing my demon form to come out a little bit.
Yeah. Good. We'll talk about that. What about you, Frankie? How do you know?
Well, I can just see like the auras and the energies and the spirits that are just like flowing around this place. It's just like it's very apparent that like this shit is magic. Like this place is a place of power, and I'm still pretty. I'm high on that heroin, and I'm just like, and I'm happy. I'm just like, man, this is what I'm talking about, Landon. And I notice that he's like vaguely demonic, and I'm just like, yeah, you're getting into it too. let's get into our spiritual vibes, man. And we gotta find Christine, and we gotta tell her what's going on, because I had this vision. I didn't really, but we're not gonna say anything about that. And so we're just looking for Christine mostly, but it's
yeah. I think this might be investigative place power, right?
Okay. All right.
So go ahead and roll plus. Let's see. This will be wild faction.
Okay.
Either of you guys, or you need it, so go for it, Frankie. So you're kind of there to do it anyway. So.
Right. Yeah. I'm 7.
Cool. And let's see. On a hit, you see below the surface to the reality underneath. And yeah, so you're out at the lake. It's all like happiness and celebration. There's some like old time Austinites there, there's a fair number of them, but there's also a group a little bit further down the beach and a little further down the shore, I should say, they're the fairies. They are younger, they're lither, they're very beautiful. They kind of intermingle between both groups, but like you guys know that's the direction you need to go. And as you're kind of like moving through, one of them will step forward, and very, very beautiful guy. Like, let's think of a really hot actor. Colton Haynes, really like beautiful, like Colton Haynes level, like pretty guy, right? Smooth and beautiful, and naked. He steps forward and he kind of like puts his hand up against you, Landon, and he's like, sorry, buddy, this is not your scene. And he kind of looks down at your hand where the demonic stuff is showing, right? And kind of indicating that you need to take a hike.
Yeah, I'll like raise my hand onto his belly and say, you probably want it to be my scene. And then I'll like smile.
He's like, yeah, maybe, but not right now. And I'll let you manipulate him in a minute though. Hold on. If you keep pushing on it. I want to finish this move up though. You're kind of moving your way through. You'll find Christine eventually. No big deal. Here's the thing that's going to trouble you probably, though. There's something in the fucking lake. You have certain sensitivities that maybe even these Fae don't have. And there's something in the fucking lake. Like, whatever it is, it's in the center of the lake. It's really old, and it is not good, whatever it is. It feels powerful and old and fills you with just a very, very like bad feeling. You have a knot in your stomach that there's something going on there.
But I find Tina.
You will find Christine. Yeah. I'm going to cut over to Colton Haynes and Langdon and Landon. So do you want to keep pushing this, Landon? To try to
yeah.
What do you do?
I think what I do is I think I grab him and I lick his neck.
All right.
And I'm like, you haven't had a good time until you've been with someone like me.
Roll plus heart. That's persuade NPC. Seduction.
Or plus heart. Okay. I got a 4.
All right. You make this move, right? He's like, no. It's you who don't know what you haven't experienced yet. You haven't experienced anyone like me. He's like, how about we go into the lake? And he like takes your hand and like guides you to the water.
Oh, geez.
And you go into the water.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Okay. Water? Water's fine.
And that feels like a good place to end the scene, end the session.
Right.
So, there. Feels like a good ending point. Let's talk about our end of session things here. At the end of every session, if you learn something meaningful about a faction, increase your score in that faction by 1 and decrease your score in a different faction by 1. And then just explain that. So look at your factions, see which ones you're closer to, if you think you're closer to any of them, and make the adjustment up while you lower another one down.
What if we kind of feel like we're in the same place?
Then you don't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I'm definitely learning more about Wild, so
Wild,
I'm just trying to figure out which one I'm decreasing here. I'll decrease mortality. I've been blowing that off pretty hard.
You've been blowing that off pretty hard, yeah. What do you think, Frankie?
Oh, man. Shoot. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I learned some stuff about night.
Power or night.
Or power.
Yeah, I could say. I think you made the case. I think I'm feeling power personally, just based off what happened in the session.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with power and decreased mortality.
Yeah. What do you think, Gabby? I feel like Wild had to go up on both you and Jerome. Like, just.
Yeah.
Possibly night, and possibly power. I don't know. You had a lot of like connections outward, so it's hard to say.
So actually, I was thinking power because I think I know that the necromancer has his hooks into my family.
Right. Yeah, I think that's right.
So, yeah.
Right. Okie doke. And then I marked Wild Faction, Frankie, because you should have marked that when you did the investigate a place of power.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I just happened to notice it while I was going through. If someone did you a favor at a cost, tell the group you owe them a debt. If you did someone a favor without redress, tell the group they owe you a debt. Basically, this is just where we kind of catch debts that we might have missed in play. What do we think? I was trying to think of if there were any that kind of happened, but that didn't get accounted for.
I mean, what about, like, I guess the thing with me and Grigor is just a simple transaction.
That was a
It's not-
transaction,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're doing this thing for him and he did a
Mhm.
thing for you.
Yeah.
Evelyn owes you though for that, for sure.
Yeah. hmm
And then Jerome and Gabby, are you guys square? Jerome spent a debt, right? He cashed one in,
Right.
on Gabby.
So I think
That's
we're
good.
square, and I don't think Landon owed me any favor for the cleanup job.
You don't think he did?
I don't think so, because I already had a debt on him for I helped him feed.
So you're saying that, like, you're saying you.
I think that's
What?
part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, I got it. Okay.
It's not that he helps me feed; it's that he helps me. He helps me with my daily releases.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think we're probably, yeah, if you guys can't think of anything else that pops in mind, we're probably good there on that then. And I think that's it. Awesome. That was really fun. I don't have anything else to say now. I may jump onto Discord. I don't know. It's kind of late though. I'm kind of feeling tired, so I may not. Might do Discord chat next time. But so if you guys just have anything you want to talk about now, we can do it.
So I'm out next week,
Okay.
and I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Right. Matt joins us, I think, next week. So cool. Anybody else have anything they want that we need to discuss in terms of like the game or anything you want to go over for next week or whatever?
No, good session.
All right,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, I am too.
I'll probably jump onto Slack for like 10 or 15 minutes, but then I'm probably gonna like peace out after that. So if anybody wants to debrief over there, okay.
Okay. Good night.
Yeah.